Hello, juniors. I have missed you very much. Happy Easter. So we're going to get started now. We are picking up with the 8th commandment. Now, I know we left off with the 5th commandment, so you're probably wondering why we're doing this. So if you remember, the 5th commandment is you shall not kill. The 8th commandment is you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. So let's start with a presentation here. Okay. So we're going to break this up into two sections for the week, Part A and Part B. Part A are 3 objectives today. Make connections between life and truth, explain why lying is a sin, and describe what it means to bear witness to the truth. So did we skip something? No. The 5th and 8th commandments go hand in hand with one another because they both forbid destruction of the most basic elements of God's divine order. Those are life and truth. So often, if a person breaks the 5th commandment, they're also breaking the 8th commandment and the other way around, and vice versa. So let's dive into this. The 5th and 8th commandments. Lying is a sin because it's an offense against God, who is himself truth and who wills truth in all dealings. So how does lying break the 5th commandment? How is lying like killing? A lie is an attempt to destroy or conceal what is true. And a lie destroys trust, confidence, peace, and love. So if you remember the example of what evil and good is, you remember I drew a picture of level ground, right? And level ground is the way things should be. Well, if I go in and I scoop out a piece of that ground, then that would be the definition of evil because it is lacking something that should be present, or it is lacking something good. So now the solution to that, of course, is to put the dirt back in, cover it over, and then make it whole again. So lying works the same way. We should be on level ground. If somebody comes in and tells a lie, they are scooping away what is true. And in that sense, they've destroyed what is good and what is true. So that's how lying breaks the 5th commandment, because we've destroyed what is good and what is true. And then, of course, we deal with the effects of that all the time. If you've ever had the experience of somebody lying to you and you later found it out, you probably lost some confidence. Maybe it affected your ability to trust people. It maybe affected your happiness or your sense of peace. It may have broken some of the love between you and that person. So I think we can all easily make the jump between how a lie breaks the 5th commandment. But now let's try and reverse that scenario. How does murder break the 8th commandment? So follow this logic. If God is truth, then what he creates is true. Therefore, life is truth. Life is a truth of God. If we deliberately destroy a life, then we have committed an offense against the truth of life. So an offense against truth is a lie. Therefore, murder is a form of lying. Now let's talk about living in the truth. All people are called to live in the truth. It does not matter what religion you grew up with or what your personal beliefs are. We are all, by nature, seeking truth. And once we find it, we're bound to live by it. Truthfulness gives another person his or her just due. In other words, we're entitled to truthfulness. Now, in the next section, we'll go into some of the exceptions to that. But you and I, in our daily interactions, are entitled to a truthful relationship. We could not live with each other if there were not mutual confidences that we were being truthful. Bearing witness to the truth. So bearing witness means that everything you do, say, live, act, adheres to the truth. So to bear witness to the truth, a Christian is not to be ashamed then of testifying to our Lord. In situations that require witness to the faith, the Christian must profess it without equivocation. And equivocation is using non-committal language in a way to avoid the truth. So if we are called to present ourselves as Christians, or if we are called to bear witness, if we are called to show allegiance to God, we have to, and we have to do it without shame, and we have to do it in a way that is strong. Like St. Paul before his judges, we must keep a clear conscience towards God and toward men. It just means that we have to show our loyalty when we are called to do so. The highest form of witnessing is martyrdom, because the martyrs, all the way up until the end of their life, they lose their life because they refuse to back down from what is true. Okay, that concludes part A. I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me an email or some kind of correspondence, and I will see you again for part B.